Hello beautiful people, LosingDrea here, and today in my kitchen I'm going to show you all the tools that I've been using as far as being on my weight loss journey. And there's several tools that are very important that are must-haves, and then there are some tools that I have that are not necessarily must-haves but definitely something that you should have. They've been quite helpful with me and my journey, and I found that I really love cooking now that I'm trying to make lower carb, lower fat, lower calorie alternatives to a lot of other items out there that other people are cooking or whatnot. And basically I'm going to show you what they are so that you can either have them on hand in your kitchen and or look forward to putting them on your list of things to get. And what I have here are measuring spoons, and these are really good because you want to be able to measure out certain things that you can use, you know, like your spices, any kind of sugar, just about anything really. I even use the measuring cups as serving implements. If I'm only allowed a cup or a quarter of a cup of something, I use that to scoop it right out of the bowl or what have you, and I'm able to properly measure the amount that I'm supposed to eat. I have different types here. We have the metal type, which these kind of rust, and you can't really see the, you know, whether it's an eighth or a half or a tablespoon or a teaspoon. I know what is a tablespoon, a half or whatever, but not very good. Same with these white ones, and the black ones I use often just because I'm used to using them. But again, it's very hard to read the numbers. But this I suggest, these came from the dollar store. They were $1 a piece, so it cost me $2 for both of these. And you can see they're still wrapped. I haven't used them yet because I still use the other ones. But you can never have too many measuring spoons and measuring cups on hand. But however, just showing you how you can clearly see on them what your serving size is. And in addition to the serving size, this also shows the milliliter. We have a measuring glass. This is a Pyrex 4-cup measuring glass. It also reads ounces, and it reads also liters and milliliters. And here is my 2-cup. I love this cup. I use my smoothies. I drink my smoothies out of this because this is exactly 16 ounces, 2 cups. It only says 1 cup, and of course in ounces it says 8 ounces. But if I fill this all the way to the top, it's 16 ounces, actually 2 cups. So there's that. And this is another kind of measuring cup. It reads ounces, milliliters, tablespoons, and teaspoons. So if you're measuring out lemon juice or melted butter or something where you just want that amount, this is also a good thing. And I also got this in the dollar store. I'm holding here in my hand some straws, and this is just a quick tip. I always make my smoothies and I drink them out of a straw. I was drinking them out of this fat straw here, but this particular straw made me sip my smoothie a lot faster than, say, these smaller, skinnier straws that I have here. Okay, so if you have a smaller, skinnier straw, you might enjoy your smoothie for a lot longer because it'll take you a little longer to drink your smoothie. I have here a 32 ounce, 1,000 milliliters is 32 ounce, and this is just a bottle. You can put anything you want in this bottle. I suggest it for water. You want to put water in this bottle. This will hold 32 ounces. This is exactly half of what your daily intake of water should be. So if you're to have 64 ounces of water, 32 ounces would be half. If you fill 1 or 2 of these up, leave them in the refrigerator to get cold, you'll have them on hand so that you can have your water for the day. Very important. Drink lots of water. I myself have a problem with this because I don't seem to get thirsty, but drink lots of water. Okay, you can always drink more, but you want to at least drink that amount. We have this measuring cup here, and this is not a digital, this is a manual measuring cup, and I'm just going to bring this closer for you without having to bring the camera closer to it because I seem to move the camera too much. This particular thing measures 2 cups, and the way this is set up, it already is designed so that the cup it's already zeroed out. And this 2-cup canister sits on this, and it doesn't affect the weight. So then whatever you put into the cup, you could then see it. And I would suggest something like this. For one, it's not very expensive. It costs probably about under $5, I think I paid for this. And basically, it's just to use quickly. You don't have to sit there and zero it out or fumble with any modes or whatnot. And it's very, very good for measuring something fast. This is a digital scale. And this I use for a lot of things because in addition to the fact that it measures, it has a mode so that I can switch between ounces and pounds, grams and milliliters. So depending on what you want to measure on this thing, you have your grams, you have your milliliters, I don't know if you can see that, and if I hit this button on the back, I can switch to modes where I have fluid ounces and pounds and ounces. So depending on what you're trying to measure out, you definitely want to have a good scale that's going to be as close as accurate as possible because your lifestyle journeys depend on it. I have a cutting board here. This is great for cutting meats, vegetables, whatever you need to cut up. You're always going to be cutting, especially if you're eating fruits and vegetables. I suggest to have a different cutting board for meats and a different cutting board for your vegetables. This is a 2-sided cutting board. Obviously, I could use either side, but I do have other types of cutting boards that I use. One for meats, one for vegetables, and one for fruits. All different. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I suggest that you do it. In addition to that, you want to have some sharp knives. You want to be sure that these knives are sharp and they're good for cutting your fruits, your vegetables, your meats. Always make sure you have nice sharp knives on hand. Pedometer. Very, very important. This is my pedometer, and I wear this all the time. In fact, right after I show it to you, I'm going to put it back on because I've been doing a lot of moving around, and it's not being calculated. Every move you make, whether you shake your leg, jump up and down, wash your dishes, clean your house, go grocery shopping, put your groceries away, whatever you do, if this thing clicks a step, it counts as a step. So with that said, I'm going to make sure I put my pedometer back on. And you should wear yours too if you have one. If not, get one. This is a notepad, and I suggest that you really should have one of these. This is just a small 4-subject notepad. It doesn't have to be a 4-subject notepad. It could be any kind of notepad, but have a notepad. It could be one of those big spiral notepads. You basically want to keep a diary or some way nearby where you do your eating at that you can keep track of what you eat so you do not forget. You're not always going to run to your computer or get on your iPhone or whatever smartphone you have and start inputting your food into your online trackers that you may have. It's a very good idea to keep this. Many times I'll just jot down something that I've eaten and I'll put it in here and I'll put the date, and so in case I forget to put it in my food tracker, I can go back and put it in there at any time I want and I know what I ate. It's not really for me to look back into it as a diary, but you can if you want. I do just suggest you keep one of those on hand in your kitchen. Over here I have a regular weight scale. This is a scale, a bathroom scale. I don't know what kind of scale you want to call it. This one measures body fat, water retention, you name it. This is an industrial scale. This is about $40 US. I got it here at Kmart. It was a present to me from my hubby. And so far, I don't know if it's because of my weight or maybe I was wearing clothing and you're supposed to be naked. I don't know. But these metal strips here basically help determine all these other things. Mainly, I just want it for my weight. And so, therefore, you want to make sure that you have a nice scale. It doesn't have to be digital, but you want to make sure that it's accurate. Because whatever you weigh yourself on, that's what you're going to have as your weight that you're going to be watching. Another thing you want to have on hand here, I have a blender. And one of the things I recommend, as far as if you're having smoothies, or you like fruit juices or vegetable juices, you want to have a blender. My blender has measuring cups on the outside. This is a timer. This is a cooking timer. This is a cute little thing. It looks like my mom's tea kettle. This is for when I'm cooking or baking, anytime I need to. If I don't use my oven timer, I can use this timer, and I can set it. If I'm cooking pasta and I don't want to overcook my pasta, I just set this little thing so it rings, and then I know how long I've cooked whatever I'm cooking. Always good to have a timer. Doesn't matter if you're on a lifestyle journey or not. This is a food processor, and this is a Black & Decker food processor. I was fortunate enough to find this after I went ahead and I bought this, which is an electric food chopper. This was cheap. This was about $8.99. They're on sale sometimes for $5, $6.99. Right now there's one at our local Navarro's in this week's paper for $7.99, the same brand. I paid $8.99 for it before tax, and that is in US dollars. And basically it's just a food chopper. This is a 1.5 capacity food chopper. It's good for dicing and pretty much pulverizing any kind of foods, fruits, vegetables that you might want to put in certain recipes. It's good to have this. You'll do a lot less chopping on the cutting board. But if you can get a food processor, you could do a little bit more as far as your fruits and your vegetables, slicing, dicing, grating. Enough said about the Black & Decker thing. I was lucky enough to buy this for $19.99 from Ross. Gotta love Ross. But this is a $40 food processor. Not an extreme importance, but definitely something that you should have. Another thing that you should have is a plate. You want to have plates that are not too large, because when you eat on a smaller plate, it makes you feel like you have a larger portion. Whoever made the rule, it's great if you're on a lifestyle change. You want to eat your portion and you want to feel like you're eating a large portion. You want to eat on a smaller plate. This is just a small side plate. It's a little smaller than what I normally eat on. This is the normal size plate that I eat on, because while it's smaller than the other plates that I own, and it gives you the appearance that there's more on the plate than what is actually on there. In addition to those, these are a couple plates that I just got for $2 each at Walmart. This, again, a deep dish plate. This white plate actually fits into the middle of it, like that, if you're looking for a nice setting for a charger plate. But I like it that it's deep, and again, it's not humongous, and I can put everything in the middle and not feel like I'm getting gypped out of eating enough food, whatever it is. It makes you feel like, okay, you're getting enough to eat. Here is another piece of equipment. You don't necessarily need to have this if you have a food processor. But this, I bought at Ross for $5.99, and what it does do that the food processor does not do, in addition to having measuring of ounces and cups, is it comes with these different attachments for grating, small, medium, large, zesting, and there's an egg separator here so that you can literally, separate eggs. If I was to crack an egg, it'll keep the yolk and the white will go down here in the middle. This is for large grating, this is for smaller grating, and this is for even smaller grating. And then we have the main thing that I would use it for is juicing. A lot of recipes call for juicing of lemons or limes. I found this to be excellent for juicing of lemons and limes, and it gets a lot of the pulp and catches the seeds, and all the juice then gets distributed down here in the bottom for you to use in your recipe. And as well, it has where it's measured, so you know once you've juiced, you can stop juicing when you have as much as you need. Okay, so a very good tool to have in addition to having the food processor. Two totally different things, some of which do the same thing as the other, but again, not exactly the same. So definitely suggest you can have one of those. Now, this is something else I suggest you have. Storage. Storage for leftovers, storage for food that you can make so you can have it quickly on hand when you want to eat or reheat something or take it with you on the go. Maybe you're taking a lunch, what have you. These are all very good things to have. And some of these you probably recognize. There are the, this is from Betty Crocker. I get these at the dollar store. And they literally will tell you how many, fluid ounces. This is 26.6 fluid ounces for this container. And it has a lid. And it also, on the side, has milliliters. And on this side has cups. So this in itself has measuring on it. So, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but that's cups, and that's milliliters. You see the little numbers on there. And this is really great to have for taking lunches or anything. If you have any leftovers, you want to freeze them, you can pre-measure them out using any of the scales that I showed you before, so you make sure that you're not overeating and you always have your serving ready to go and you know exactly how much it is. You can put a little label on here. Stickers are easy to take off or stick over, so you always know what's in your containers, whether you put them in the freezer or in the refrigerator for later consumption. There are these larger containers here that I have that basically they're the same, pretty much the same concept. They have the milliliters and the cups right on them. These are made by Rubbermaid, and you can get these in the aisle at your grocery store and or at the dollar store as well. And these are really good to have for whatever leftovers you might have. This holds 3 cups or 1 cup, and you definitely wouldn't want to eat 3 cups, but let's say you knew that a recipe had 3 cups of fruit in it. You could put all 3 cups of the fruit in here and freeze it for later use, or you can take out until you have what's left. Still, keep in mind you always want to measure whatever it is you're going to be cooking with so you never overeat. I can't say that enough because portion size is very, very important. Here's another type of container. This is from Hillshire Farms. It comes with deli select meats in them. What's great about these is after the meat is been consumed, you get left with this nice little container that has this really neat airtight sealed top. And I love these containers. They're not like the other containers I just showed you where they have the numbers on the side. However, you can tell that this was 2.75, which is 2 3/4 cups, 22 ounces, 650 milliliters. That's what this container holds. So these are good to have, and I usually find that some of my leftovers, I have like 1 or 2 meals or 1 serving, fits in this thing nicely with some room left on the top depending on what the meal is. So this is good to have, and they don't really cost you any much more than the meat that you buy that came in them. So you get your money back a little bit when you think of it that way because it serves a purpose. This is a smaller type of container. This container is 1.5 cup servings. And you can buy these like this, or you might get them in a set. It depends. This particular one, I don't know what the brand is on it because I got this given to me from somewhere. Oh, Anchor Hawking. So yeah, this probably came in a set with some other containers in it, and I think somebody might have given it to me, and so I now have it. But again, this is 1.5 cups. You know what's in it once you put it in there. Great for puddings or with a little topping or something to take on the go. This is glass, and I use these. You've probably seen these in some of my recipe videos where I've cooked, and it has a nice lid that comes with it, and I keep all kinds of stuff in these particular containers. And these little glass containers, I believe, if I can see it, they're kind of hard to see, but I usually hold about 4 ounces to a cup, like 1/2 cup to a cup in one of these containers, just so you know. And so it's good for, I like to make puddings, the no-calorie, low-calorie, sugar-free, fat-free puddings that I make. One of these is a great serving size, more than enough for a serving size with a little bit of a topping. And they have lids, so they're great for, you never want to leave any kind of food open in the refrigerator because inevitably it will get contaminated or it will contaminate something else in your refrigerator. These containers here, if you've ever ordered Chinese food or some salad from a deli or something, you may have seen these containers. They are very easy to get, and they are cheap because they came with stuff that you bought in them, so you did not have to buy them. And they hold, this is, I believe, a quart. So this is like a 1 quart container. It holds about a quart. Great for soups and items, stews and whatnot that you may make that you want to freeze for later heating up and use. Not exactly something that you want to keep for single servings on hand, but definitely like dinner for 2, so on and so forth. You can keep them in containers such as these. These containers, same thing. Cotton candy, something I used to eat before I was on my lifestyle journey, and I have a lot of these. Hubby knew that my favorite is cotton candy, spun sugar, and he used to buy it for me all the time. So I have a lot of these containers. I don't know why I particularly decided to save them, but good thing that I did. They have a nice airtight top, and it's great for storing all kinds of things. Again, I'm not really sure, but I'm sure there's somewhere on the bottom that says how much. I think it's 1.5 ounce was the cotton candy, but cotton candy don't weigh nothing, so we can't go by that. But another good free container that came already with stuff in it. Another thing, these are from the dollar store. I spend $1 each on each of these. These are bags. You want to be able to have bags for storing of your fruits, vegetables, anything you have left over. Certain meals, certain items. I do a lot of storing of fruits and vegetables in these. I have the 8 by 7 inches, which is the quart size, and I use a lot of those for vegetables, as well as the small sandwich bags. And these are all zipper sandwich bags, and believe it or not, from Dollar Tree, at only $1, these work really, really good. They've been better for me than the hefty ones. I was buying the hefty ones. They have the zipper lock, but these are even better, and you get more than you do the hefty with these. And I gotta say, I use these like crazy. When I cut open a lime or a lemon or an onion, I have an onion keeper. I never use it. I stick whatever's left over of my vegetables in one of these bags, and I could easily put it in the freezer as well as just keeping it in the vegetable or fruit bin within the refrigerator. So definitely must have the bags. Another thing I'm going to show you for storage are these cute little animal snack containers. I got this in the dollar store. They come 2 to a pack with this little baby food spoon. I don't necessarily say I would use the baby food spoon, but each one of these holds exactly a half a cup of liquid or whatever. They're cute. They look like little kid things, but definitely if you just want a half a cup of something, a little salad dressing or something to keep, definitely this is something cute to have, and they only cost $1, so keep that in mind. And here in my kitchen, I'm going to show you some other items that are really good to have. The first must-have that I really suggest is a slow cooker. And the reason I suggest having a slow cooker is I don't even know how to describe how invaluable this particular item, accessory, has been in my kitchen. And the reason being is you can set it and forget it. You know, put the food in here. I've put frozen food in here, fresh out of the freezer that I didn't have time to defrost the night before. I've put it right in this crock pot, put my ingredients in over top of it, and I've set it for either high or low, and in 4 to 8 hours, depending on what it is or how long I know before I want to eat it and serve it to my family, I put it in here and I cook it. And I've cooked things for a lot longer, and it sits there and it cooks and it cooks and it cooks, and it doesn't turn itself off, and it hasn't ruined the flavor or texture of any of my foods. In fact, my chicken, my meat, whatever I've put in here ends up coming out so delectably soft and delicious. so tender that it just falls apart. And I've cooked everything in here. I made 15 bean soup, which I'm going to be uploading the video pretty soon for. I've made chicken and squash zucchini soup in this. I've made chicken stew in this. I've made beef stew in this. I've made all kinds of stuff in this. So ever since I got this, I've already gotten a lot of use out of it, and I've definitely gotten the money's worth. Even though I got this for free from filling out surveys on one of those things online, I earned the points and got this. So this is definitely a must-have. Another thing that you should have, could have, you don't necessarily need, is a rice cooker steamer. I put my rice in here and I set it, and in about 20 minutes I have rice. If I want, I could put vegetables in there, and in a few minutes have steamed vegetables. This is particularly a very good item to have. This is a small one, and for myself, my husband, and my mother, this is perfect size for us. So you don't need anything too dramatic because you don't want to really overcook rice. It's not really good the next day. This is something I'm going to be doing a recipe video coming up pretty shortly for making ice cream. I had this for a long time. You freeze the canister. You don't need salt and none of that stuff, but you freeze the canister and then you're able to make a quart of ice cream. So I have this out. It's not a must-have, but definitely something that you might want to have if you want to make your own low-calorie, fat-free, whatnot, desserts, smooth, ice creams and sherbets or sorbets, gelato. You can make it in this thing. Another thing that I suggest that you definitely, this is a definite have, is a Teflon, a good Teflon coated pan. Don't just get one of those pans that say that it's Teflon, because it's not going to be. I bought a couple of them that were real cheap, and then let me tell you, you get what you pay for. You want to be able to cook with as little as oil, grease, and butters that you possibly can. Then make sure you have a very good Teflon pan, and at least have one that has a good tight fitting lid, because some recipes are going to require for you to put the lid on it to simmer it, steam it, whatever. And this is something that you could have, but I just recently got these two particular things. They were $24.98 along with these two one slotted spoon and a spatula, because anytime you use Teflon, you don't want to scratch it with metal. You want to use plastic or wood. I suggest plastic because it's easier to clean. Wood is, any kind of germs could soak into it. But you want to definitely use plastic with your good Teflon. And this pan is a grill pan, so this is for grilling, and I'm probably going to do a grilling recipe video for you guys with some chicken, so that we can grill up some chicken and have that on hand for salads and stuff, for snacking and what have you. But something that you could have, but would definitely not be a bad idea. And pretty much that's it for the things that you should have in your kitchen. I also have a microwave in addition to these items. I'm not going to show it to you because I'm pretty sure you and everyone out there, whoever's watching this video, know what a microwave looks like. But there's certain things that I do cook in the microwave kind of quickly. I make potato chips, which I'm going to show you in another recipe video, as well as I'm going to make some sweet potato chips that I'm going to show you in another recipe video. And I'm able to take vegetables that fresh out of the bag or right in the pouch, how they come from the grocery store. I pop a couple holes in them and I stick them in the microwave for just 3-4 minutes, and they get steamed right in the microwave. I hope that any of this stuff that I showed you is going to help you. And like I said before, please comment, rate, or subscribe if you like my videos for more. And yeah, be happy, be healthy, be beautiful, but just be you. And I'll see you in my next video.